Brain damage, CTE, mixed in with mental illness are a lot of problems that boxers and MMA fighters and football players go through. It's hit and not get hit. Remember that. Keep downloading that data with the high guard. I hope somebody pushed that button. I thought you got your button pushed when you went to your knee and you got up swinging for the heels. I guess not.
Of all time.
Yes, known to fight fans as a dark destroyer, Nigel Benn thrilled everyone, including sportsmen like me, in the same era.
A two-weight world champion whose rivalry with Chris Eubank gripped the nation, and his ferocious knockouts simply lit up the scene.
This is why this man, Nigel Benn, gives you excitement and raw adrenaline every time. What a fighter this is. He wants now to engage Benn in a bit of trench warfare. Benn won't mind that at all. That's his kind of fight. At the end, Benn's power was too much for him, and that is the long and short of it. And you really do have to regard this fellow as right up there among the very best of British world champions.
Nigel
at Mount Boxing, and yeah, just going up and up.
I saw you ringside at the Ricky Hatton fight.
Yeah, that was one of the first fights I've been with my son. To watch a fight, I don't usually go because I don't usually get time to watch the fight. But it was really sad seeing Ricky there. Really hurt me because it wasn't Ricky of who we knew.
It's only guys like you and Ricky, maybe Carl Froch, that could get crowds like that as well. The atmosphere must have been amazing.
It was amazing, but like I said, there was so much things missing from Ricky that night, and I know he's a guy that I love to watch all his career. I mean, he's a fantastic body puncher, and when did he get stopped by a body punch? And he actually looked old for the first time. I think coming down in that weight all the time, draining yourself out. And to me, I'm not knocking you or anything, Ricky, but I feel to then go and fight a former world champion straight away after 3 years layout. And the big thing missing, I think, the unity of his dad not being there. I think that can be a big plus. And with him not there, I think that was a minus. And I think it was just so much he had to take on board on that night, and I think it showed.
You say you don't get to ringside very often anymore. Do you keep in touch with the scene, or do you just prefer to lead a different life now?
No, I still like watching a good fight, you know, and yeah, I look, and I mean, you have to look for a good fight nowadays. I mean, not blowing our own trumpet. You had me, you had Watson, you had Eubank, you had Iron Barkley, Doug Rip Robinson over the other side. So there was so many different fights. You had Frank Bruno and Tyson.
You all made each other, or you?
Absolutely, but it wasn't just a fight in here. So right, let's switch over, and then you watch another big time fight.
Let's talk about what got you there in the first place. Why did you start boxing, first of all?
I actually started when I was in the army. I mean, I was always street fighting back in the 70s, always fighting with the National Front and always winning. Praise the Lord. But then I got your boy, and that was it. He knew what to do to beat me. I could do nothing, and he knew he was just going to cover up for 6 rounds. He knew I was going to blow up. In the same way that how he dealt with Chris in that second fight was unbelievable. He really done a good number on him.
You never met him in the ring again, but you're very close to him now, aren't you, Michael?
Yeah, Michael. He came over to us in Mallorca. He stayed at our house, yeah, so yeah, me and Michael are close.
What made you make the decision to, after that fight, you shot over to Miami and regrouped, reinvented yourself?
Well, I think I had to, because I think to myself, well, I was living the lifestyle here, thinking I'm the best thing since sliced bread, and I think to myself, well, if I'm going to go and make it, let me go to... How good am I?
Because you had that, didn't you? You had that sort of look of someone who was a celebrity, a star.
No, I really want to see how far I'm going to go.
Yeah.
And if back in them days, because you had all the best middleweights within America, you know, you had like
DeWitt, Barkley,
Michael Nunn. You know, and James Toney, you had them all there. So if you were really gonna, you know, the other fault and that Eubank fault, you know, back in the day there was some great fighters out there. So if you're gonna make it in America, these are the guys I've got to beat.
I think that's the time when you decided to be serious, because before the Watson fight, I can remember you in your white Porsche 911 whizzing up and down the road after the weigh, and whoop, off you went.
Yeah,
and I thought,
you got a good memory, man.
Got it with these.
Yeah.
And then you took yourself out there to the States. took yourself around and then won the WBO title.
Yeah, well, I think that was it really, because I wanted to see how good I was now to do my first 10-rounder in Atlantic City against Jorge Amparo. I think it was Atlantic City. And that was for me, just to get 10 rounds under your...
Because all your fights were so quick.
Yeah, that was it. So I had to get that 10 rounds. Oh, I've done 10 rounds, thank you, Lord. I was just happy that I'd done 10 rounds.
You can't teach people to have heart, and out of all the boxers I've ever followed, Nigel Benn had the biggest heart.
The other guy, Christopher Livingston, Eubank.
Yeah. Where do we start? how long we got?
Where do we start? What was your first opinion of him?
My opinion of him, but you got to understand, I just couldn't stand him.
At all?
At all.
The build was amazing.
Listen, this everyone said, was it? No, this is real fight. No. But anyway, it was one of the kind of things that we just didn't like each other.
Why? What was it?
Why? He's the kind of person, the Queen should be living in Hove and he should be living in Buckingham Palace. He's coming in with his joppers, his monocle and his cane, and he's looking down. I mean, he's the sharpest dresser going. I've got to give him that. He's the sharpest dresser going. But it just got up my nose, mate. He really did. He just looked down on me and I thought, I couldn't hack it.
But isn't that what boxing
Yeah, that's
is all
right.
about,
But
that clash of
absolutely. I think, thank you, Chris. Mwah.
Yeah.
To be able to have 47,000 at Old Trafford, I think over 18.5 million people watching this fight.
Yeah.
Thank you, Chris.
The first time in Birmingham.
Yeah.
I mean, the weight was an issue, wasn't it? And
well,
didn't you have to go for a run on the day?
Well, no, I tell you what, I had to do 3.5 minutes in the steam bath, because when I got on the scales, I was 12 stone. But it wasn't, I was just sitting out, and I remember the film I was watching was with Marlon Brando, the Waterfront.
Up on the front.
Yeah, that's what I was sitting in the room, just eating all healthy food, but when I got on the scales, I was like, 12 stone. So I had to do 3.5 minutes, 3.5 minutes in the steam bath, then shadow box, then come back, got on the bike, on a treadmill, run again for about an hour, and then lost 5 3/4 pounds. In in about an hour and a bit. Then got on the scales. But that was nothing to do with it. That was nothing, it was his night. So we're not going to put that in there. That was his night. And I mean, in about round 3 or 4, he got me with a thumb. Accident, I don't know, but he got me, and I mean, every time he was hitting me. And one thing with Chris, he's tough. He's got a jaw like granite. My punches were just bouncing off. I think, I wish I had that Joe Kawasaki power, just put him down, but Chris has got a good jaw. And when he fights me, he knows he can't play around. And you look at his physique, he's just muscle on top of muscle.
That was a great night, I mean, in many ways, throughout his whole career.
Yeah. I think that was the best fight. The first fight was much better than the second fight.
It displayed your personality, because in the fight you were just on him. You were on him like a dog with a bone, and he was trying to tease and get you to make a mistake.
Yeah, and he did.
And
he did bang me some. I felt his.
And the more he did it, the more frustrated you got.
I don't even think about frustration. I just want to have it with him. It wasn't even about frustration, but he's just got a load of power. I mean, I saw myself wobbling here a couple of times, but I just had to kind of shake it off.
Did you agree with Richard Steele?
Absolutely. Like my dad said, he dogged that run. The will live to fight another day. So it was good that, I weren't going to... That was Chris's night.
How did you take it?
No, it was hard, really. But it was a great fight. But I know for a fact he's going to start chewing off me ear now. He knows he's just going to give it to me. Walking around with his cane and look, that's just going to do me. He's just going to do me. So, and I've got to do that. I can't say nothing. Because if I start doing that, they say, well, who won? So I just had to keep my mouth shut.
So you didn't think about, after that, you thought, you know what, I've lost bragging rights to this guy, I can't stand, I'm getting out of this game. You didn't consider jacking it in?
Absolutely not.
Revenge.
Absolutely, but let me get to the... But I've got to tell you what happened. Like, the first fight, I got 400 grand, which was great money then. Wow. And then when I lost, I went down to 35 grand. So I was in the gym. Oh, I'm not losing again, mate. I'm not losing. That's a big drop, mate. And then I fought Kid Milo.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think Robbie Sims was, I think was straight after that one. So I mean, so I didn't go back. I just went straight on it.
Stepped up to super middleweight.
Absolutely. I didn't really want to, but
Did you feel though with the weight loss that you had to make before?
No, I wasn't really. No, these. See, you got to understand what thing but they're like 14 stone men, really. 39, 14 stone. But I was really mostly like 12 and a half stone. Me, really. I'm not big like
them.
They
were bigger.
right?
They were physically big.
Yeah, much bigger than me.
Calvano, you're boxing out in Rome. There's not many British fighters managed to do that. Go out to Italy.
Yeah.
Everything is quiet now!
Oh, shit. Everything is backwards. We the creators of all music, mathematics, and science. So don't you get scary. Don't you get cemetery scary when I play our music on my channel. I love rock and roll because it always starts with the soul. We can go to UK, we can go to London, we can go to Africa. It's gonna be the same head bob. Stick and move, bob and weave. Shout out to these great fathers. They don't make them like this no more.
Really?
Nepotism.
Oh, all right. Yeah. Ring that bell. If you're watching the second round, I'm chasing him around because he got in my head. Danny just changed the way that I was thinking. Now, if Kevin was in there saying, Nige, you're getting the battering in there, mate, I would have gone, oh, I would have lost heart. But because Danny said to me, you've got him, look at the state he's in. I'm like, yeah, ring the bell. In the second round, I'm chasing him around. Yeah, so what? Come on, what you got?
It wasn't just the first round, though. I mean, there were dark moments you had to go through almost all the way.
Even when he put me down in round 8, and I remember it, I gave him a right uppercut, left hook. When you come out from round 9, you got more of that. Was not scared. Was not scared at all.
You weren't going to lose that night?
No, was not going to lose. The same way that he went in there with that attitude was my attitude. My attitude was not going to change. Because I said, no, I'm not going down there thinking all you media think I'm going to go down and lie down. I'm going to go out, I'm going out on my shield.
It was an incredible triumph, which of course turned very, very quickly when everybody realised how serious it was. At
that time, I mean, it wasn't... at that time, I wasn't a Christian at that time, and I didn't really care, really. That was because everyone had me to be knocked over and bowled over. And I remember coming out of the hospital, I mean, I come out with a damaged nose, damaged jaw, urinating blood for 3 days and the shadow on my brain. As you know, he came out paralysed, blind, 80% deaf in a wheelchair. And I never saw him for 12 years after that. And it was like, so Kevin, let's decided let's put the do for him at the Grosvenor Square. And we had all the East End staff, Coronation, everyone came out and we actually raised $250,000 for him. And that was really hard, really, actually, to see him again.
So that night, probably your greatest triumph in a ring, but was it the thing that turned your whole life around?
No, because I was on top of the world. Yeah, I'm the best thing since sliced bread now. So you kind of think, but didn't realise everything was battered out of me. Everything just really gone. Everything just really kind of the best. Well, I can't even say the best fight of my life because when someone's injured like that, it's not really the best fight. And everyone keeps on saying, "Oh, it was a great fight," but
it's difficult.
You can't. I'm not like that. So then you got to understand, Mike Tyson. How'd you go? I said, I ain't doing that. And that's when the message goes back to me, if you don't, we're going to bring in mini Mike Tyson. That was it. And you got to understand. So I'm not being disrespectful with the British boxers, but I'm not like, oh, okay. I don't shy away from nobody. I'm not shy enough. Oh, bring him on. I ain't scared of him. I'm an ex-squaddy.
What did you know about him?
Nothing really. Didn't really care. Didn't care. I didn't
He had
care.
a huge reputation as
I know.
big puncher.
Yeah, but it didn't bother me. It did not bother me in the slightest. Not in the slightest. Didn't even think about it.
Did it make you even hungrier? Because of that?
No, it peed me off, I can assure you. I really did to think like, I'll back off. I'm not like that. So then, you got to understand, from moving from light middle to middle, it takes you about 6 months to a year to adapt to the weight. So he's gone from light middle, strapped to super middleweight. And the only person that had me to win was Ken Gorman from the start. Everybody had me to be knocked out within round 1 to round 3. And it was so funny because, and he said to my dad, I'm going to hurt your boy. And, you know, I don't want to be disrespectful to him, but he's a very spiteful man because he used to fight pit bulls. And he used to tape up Labrador's mouth and put him out. A Labrador. You know, things that he did really cool, and he used to fight his pit bulls. I said, he would just shoot him. I'm caught up in that. I got caught up in that. And you know what is? It's pain. So when I think to myself, I come out and then you're, oh, the solicitors, all people want this from you. Everybody wants a bit from you. And the only actually time I had was when I was away in Tenerife training.
So when you were fighting, you could actually cut all that out of your head?
Absolutely. No, because I didn't want to come. I didn't want to come back. It was just peace. No phones, like nothing. Yeah, absolutely, no one bothered me. But soon, as I step back, it's like, oh, the solicitors, all people want this from you. You wear these shorts up here, so you know. Sorry, Chris.
you probably were.
Worst decision. As long as I got that belt around my waist, I got £1 million. So what am I crying for? Do you understand? I'm not gonna moan about it. There's been much more worse decisions than that in boxing. You know, it's a low blow. But if you watch him, you wear these shorts up here, so you know. Sorry, Chris.
You achieved everything that any fighter could ever even dream of. Not a terraced house or not a BMW car. You got to the top. Well, was there any downsides? Now looking back, were there any downsides to that lifestyle? Because remember, you've got to pass a message on to the young guys
I think, with all these kids here as well, that, you know, it's get caught up in that lifestyle. You know, and I mean, I burnt the candle at both ends, and I mean, it's it's really hard. You've got to be dedicated, even though, and the dedication that I got was really from the army. That really actually pulled me through a lot of things that I went through. But it's not burning the candle at both ends, you know. And I'm trying to warn my son, please don't follow in my footsteps. Please, I want to be able to be with a manager that's going to take care of him.
Was it the glamour, Nigel, or what would you have done differently? What would you regret?
What do I regret? I think really being unfaithful to my wife. I think that was the hardest thing. And I think everything else, you know, but it's got me to where I am now. But I think that was the really thing that really hurt me, being unfaithful to my wife. More than anything else, more than money, anything. It's just knowing that I was just with my wife. That's the most important thing in my life now, today. That's it, nothing else.
Structure, family,
absolutely, nothing else. And I think that was it. And I thought with my son, I wanted to be just with one woman. That's it. That's it, because the nightmare that I had, I mean, it's my second wife. I've been with her 22 years now, but my first wife, she was doing one thing, I was doing my own, so it was just a nightmare. The only time I actually had peace was actually fighting. Can you believe that? The only time I actually enjoyed it was actually when I was fighting, when I was away from Tenerife. Oh, that was it. But there again, I like the party side as well. Do you understand? And I got caught up in that. And you know what is? It's pain. So when I think to myself, I come out and then you're, oh, the solicitors, all people want this from you. Everybody wants a bit from you. And
say it was unhealthy. I mean, he was extremely strict. I got away with nothing. If I messed up in school, if I didn't do a chore, if I got into a fight with my brothers, there was physical punishment, whether it was a belt, whether it was a cane, whether it was, a slap. Back then, in the 90s, that was how you disciplined your kids. So that is where my fear obviously originated from, having to deal with that. But again, that type of punishment and that type of upbringing, that type of strictness, it made me who I am today. It prepared me for the brutality of the sport of boxing.
You know the spirit world. That's how I know you're an honest man. The people around you are part of a gang. Let Conor go and have his illustrious career here in the United Kingdom and then in the United States, because he beats them all. That's how fantastic I think he is. I've always backed you, Conor. I've always backed you. Okay, you're sensible. If it's true that you've said things about me which are, I don't mind that. I'm looking at the people that you're around. Here it is. You know the spirit world. That's how I know you're an honest man. The people around you are part of a gang. It's a team thing. You're the mark. Okay, the only person who's going to look out for you is you, supposed to be your dad, and people like me. You can trust me. Yeah, you've seen me get up in a fight I can't win and walk back into the fire. You can trust me. I'm not going to give you any, I'm not going to mislead you. You know? I'm a lawman.
Floyd Mayweather Jr. He says he's the best ever. Has anyone accounted for this observation? I've never seen him lose. You only know a man in how he accepts defeat. So I can't score him. But certainly, the fact that my own child chose him to be a role model over me, the dad, the gentleman. Yeah, he's a playboy. Because that's what he represents. He has clubs, or he had clubs, and he shows bling. Oh, this is how I'm living. I wear a dress. And for a bit of humor, I wear a bear.